Donald Trump loves touting his Christian support, which he still largely has, despite everything about him and his past and the assaults and all that. But the support of Christians is not universal towards Donald Trump. One church is actually finding itself the target of the MAGA movement after they refused to go along with his recent prioritization of white South Africans over other refugees. This is specifically the Episcopal Church. They are ending their refugee resettlement partnership with the federal government over this preferential treatment that Donald Trump has now put into effect. The Reverend Sean Rowe issued a letter announcing this change in policy, saying, in light of our church's steadfast commitment to racial justice and reconciliation and our historic ties with the Anglican Church of Southern Africa, we are not able to take this step. Accordingly, we have determined that by the end of the federal fiscal year, we will conclude our refugee resettlement grant agreements with the US federal government. And he goes on to say, it's been painful to watch one group of refugees selected in a highly unusual manner receive preferential treatment over many others who've been waiting in refugee camps or dangerous conditions for years. I am saddened and ashamed that many of the refugees who are being denied entrance to the US are brave people who worked alongside our military in Iraq and Afghanistan and now face danger at home because of their service to our country. I also grieve that victims of religious persecution, including Christians, have not been granted refuge in recent months. All of that totally true. And Donald Trump does not care about literally any of that because many of them not white. Maybe more proximally though, Elon Musk hasn't been tweeting about them recently. Elon Musk, of course, spent months talking about the conspiracy theories about South Africa. And so that is now official government policy because never forget, he bought Donald Trump and the Republican Party in the last election. So he gets what he wants. And the Episcopal Church has been involved in this sort of effort for a long time, about 40 years. They've helped more than 100,000 people resettle in the US. And so this is, from their point of view, a principled position that they are being utterly vilified over. Charlie Kirk tweeted, I guess you aren't a refugee if you are white. According to the Episcopal Church, Jesus doesn't love white people. That's interesting. According to Charlie Kirk, Jesus only loves white people because Charlie Kirk doesn't give a damn if every other refugee around the world dies in a refugee camp. He doesn't want it. Door closed, get the hell out of here. And in fact, let's go and let's find the ones who are already in the US and let's ship them abroad to be killed or raped or human trafficked or whatever. What a bizarre idea of Jesus Charlie Kirk has, where he finds this one little area where again, they're doing the cosplay that I was talking about. Oh, I care so much about these particular refugees and none others, but give me all the credit as if I have a shred of empathy in my body. Jordan, what do you think?
Yeah, if they are so concerned about refugees and the well-being of refugees as it relates to like what their alleged God or what their understanding of a higher power sees, does, believes, feels, whatever, why is there zero concern from people like Charlie Kirk or any of these other right-wing media figures when refugee camps are bombed by the IDF?
Yep.
Bombed, like firebombed. You've seen horrific footage out of Gaza, the southern part of Gaza, where they were all told to go, where these camps are just engulfed in flames. People are being burned alive. They're being bombed. Their homes were already destroyed. They went to a tent city in the southern part of Gaza, and then they're being attacked more. Does Jesus care about them, Charlie? Do they deserve entry into this country? We're contributing to it. No, of course not. This is just white plight, a white plight conspiracy that they're continuing to push. Like you say, John, it's patently obvious. This is just a racist approach to a pretty simple issue. Of course, you don't want any violence anywhere. If there's violence in South Africa between groups of people, there are ways you can address it without furthering a white nationalist conspiracy theory here.
Yeah. Yeah, the only I think more obvious than that, that's what the point of this is that Charlie Kirk would glom onto it because racial grievance is his thing. Like that's what he has. That's why, was it last year or 2 years ago on like MLK Day, he launched like a war on the legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. It's like, He knows what his appeal is supposed to be. He's trying to get white people worked up to be like, yeah, I'm actually the biggest victim in the entire world. That's his brand. So of course he's gonna jump on this. And no, to him, Jesus doesn't care about any of these refugees. And isn't it strange that Jesus always cares or doesn't care about things exactly in line with Charlie Kirk? No, these are the only refugees that actually matter. And in fact, if you're a refugee, for instance, like you're in like a refugee camp and then eventually you come to the US and you become a citizen, you become a congresswoman or whatever, he'll spend his entire life demonizing you and implying that you should be deported. But these people, they're white and they're from South Africa, so they're probably the best of us. Okay, again, if they experience some sort of discrimination, bring them in. But you can't use that as the fig leaf of you giving a damn about what's happening around the world. It's patently transparent, and I hope everyone gets that.